Hi, everyone. Welcome to Providence College. We're your 2025 orientation coordinators. We're so excited to welcome you guys to campus in the next coming days. We'll just briefly go down and introduce ourselves. Aria, do you want to kick us off?
Hello, everyone. My name is Aria Kritikos. I am a nursing major. I'm a junior, one of the fall orientation coordinators, and so excited to see everyone.
Hi guys, my name is Gabe Staples. I'm a senior here at PC. I'm a psychology and social work double major. I'm also one of the fall orientation coordinators and also super excited to see all of you guys here pretty soon.
Hi, I'm Katie Creamer. I'm a senior elementary and special education major, and I can't wait to meet everyone.
Hi everyone, my name's Haley Hickey. I'm also going to be a senior and I'm a biology major, Spanish minor. And we're so happy to have you join us on campus in just a few days.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josie Miratori. I'm going to be a senior and an accounting major. And like everyone else said, I'm so excited to have you all here. Thank you.
So, you guys can ask us questions through Instagram stories, Facebook, Zoom, and YouTube, and we'll be happy to answer. We have a wide variety of majors and experiences, so please ask away. So excited. Ooh, this is a good question. I'm going to throw this to Aria. Aria, does Suites at McCarthy Hall come with a fridge/freezer?
They do. So I just moved into the Suites at McCarthy. It's a 6-person one. There's also 4 people rooms, and it does come with a fridge and a freezer and also a microwave.
Very exciting. So you moved in and you with 5 other of your roommates?
Yeah, so 5 other of us. So we share, there's 3 rooms, 2 people in each, and then a small living area. So the living room, the small kitchen area, and then 2 bathrooms that we share among the 6 of us. So that's been great so far.
All of you guys nursing majors? Do you have a wide variety of majors?
We have a wide variety. I'm actually the only one in my room who is a nursing major, which personally I kind of love because I'm in classes every day, all day with the same people in the same majors. So it's been nice to switch it up when I do get back to my room.
So you're living there as a junior, and do you want to talk about where you lived freshman year? We can all go down and say where we lived for our first years and talk a little bit about first year housing, where a lot of you will be moving in bright and early Thursday morning.
So excited. We'll all be moving you in, helping with that process. But my freshman year, I lived in McVinney. It was a double, all girls building.
My freshman year, I lived in McDermott, which is an all boys freshman dorm, and they typically range from sometimes doubles, mostly they're triples. There's a few quads, not very often, but I lived in a triple, but basic freshman housing for boys.
And I lived in Mar Hall, which was right across from Gabe. It was the female equivalent of that. I lived in a triple. To this day, it was still the favorite dorm I've ever lived in. I love that all of our freshman housing here at Providence is on a quad area. So it's really great to connect with other students. Even though they didn't live in my dorm, I could still have a common kind of communal green space to hang out with them. So we had a lot of great times there.
I lived in McVinney my freshman year, and I lived in one of the 2 freshman girl quads. So it was on the first floor. We had a great view of Slavin Lawn, so we were always able to see what was going on over there. And one of the things that I liked most about McVinney is that it's very central on campus. We were close to all the academic buildings and right by Ray. And I had a great time living in McVinney. I miss my room there.
My freshman year, I lived in Raymond Hall, which is now a freshman boys dorm. I loved it because it was right on top of the dining hall, which was really convenient, especially for those snowy days. Our freshman year, we got a lot of snow. So it was very, very convenient to just walk down in my pajamas and laugh at all my friends in their huge coats that just stumbled in. Um, and yeah, I lived in a triple that has great closet space. It was just a really great vibe in Ray. And I believe it still was last year too with boys.
Wish we could all go back. All right. This is a nice, easy one. Is it easy to loft beds? Haley, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So you can schedule actually with Physical Plant. There's a furniture day where they'll be able to come and help you get those beds up. In some of the rooms, the beds will come up. In my room, actually, freshman year, our beds came bunked, and we had those taken down. But lofting the beds, there's kind of like those divots on the inside where you can lift the platform and raise it up. But there'll be days scheduled for each floor in each residence hall that'll be posted in the hallway. And with that, you'll be able to schedule an appointment to have Physical Plant come help you loft the beds. So it's nothing that you need to do on your own if you're okay with waiting a little while to get it done. But it'll be super quick and easy. When they get there, it'll probably take a little less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most students do choose to loft their beds just for extra storage, especially your freshman year. Perfect. Do all the dorms come with closets? Gabe, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So in my experience in McDermott Hall, I lived on the ground floor, which is a little bit different than the floors above that. In my dorm, we had almost like chest closets that were like standing on the ground and you could open them up and there was space in there. But some of the other floors had like built-in closets into the wall with not necessarily doors on them. It was kind of just like an open space with a bar that you can hang clothes on and there's storage space above that. So it is similar. In the sense of those closet spaces in a lot of other dorms as well on campus, not just in McDermott Hall, but some of the other dorms that are like upperclassmen dorms, those do come with closets, but for basic freshman dorms, it's a lot of just the chest closets or ones that are like built into the wall.
I had a really nice closet my freshman year. It was definitely bigger than the one I had at home, so I was happy. So yeah, I love my freshman. Ooh, this is a good one. How do I get my books, Josie?
Sure. So, all students are going to get an email from the PC bookstore, and where you could order all your books, and they'll tell you whether you have physical books or your textbooks are going to be online. And so you just register for your books, and then you go. You could probably go during orientation or throughout the first week of classes. We do recommend that you find some time in between breaks during orientation. Your OLs will go through that with you more in depth. But you're going to be, they'll tell you to just wait online. They'll show you, your OLs will show you where to go. There's going to be a line that you just wait on, and you show them a barcode from your email, and you just show it to them, and then they'll give you your books.
And then something just to add about the books, PC is really great because for the most part, all of the books that you're receiving are free through like a rental program. There may be very few exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, you just sign up, you get the books that you needed for free, you pick them up, and then at the end of the semester, there is a drop-off day. So there's no additional cost for most of the required books for your classes.
Really lucky for that. Definitely. Hmm. Will each roommate get a specific move-in time, or is it just the time frame we already have? It's a really great question. So the whole room will get a move-in time, and you'll be moving in the same time as your roommates. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of students on campus, like your orientation leaders, any students involved with pre-orientation programs to help you lug all that stuff into your dorm room. We're really happy. We'll be there bright and early at 6:30 to help you. We'll get you guys all excited. So they kind of do odds and even numbers for move-in. So your floor on move-in day shouldn't be too crowded. But your other roommates, if they come, they will be. The times could be staggered, but they do get one giant chunk for move-in. Can we bring in draws? Throw it back to Aria.
Yeah, so actual pieces of furniture you're not technically supposed to be bringing into the dorms. However, I did bring like plastic drawers just for some of my clothes. And a little life hack that has helped me a lot is I filled those drawers ahead of time with my clothes and then just like took them with me already filled instead of having to fill them when I got there. So they're just like the plastic ones you get them from Target, the Container Store, stuff like that, and put it right under my lofted bed, which is very helpful.
I do want to add one thing about those plastic drawers. When you do fill up those drawers, just remember to duct tape around so they don't fall out. I remember moving as an OL, we help the freshman students move in. And I've seen way too many times where they move in the plastic drawers and then they're not duct taped and also labeled, remember that? Or they're not duct taped and everything falls out and it's a huge to do. So just a little tip, just to remember to duct tape your plastic drawers.
Great point.
Yeah.
That's really great, Josie.
And just to echo what Aria said, it really is a great thing to have, especially coming from my perspective of living in McDermott freshman year, where we didn't have the built-in closets. Not that the chest closets aren't big enough to hold a lot of things, but just having those drawers that you can get from like Target or Walmart or any places like that, they're really great storage places as well for underneath beds. Even if the beds aren't super lofted, they usually are lifted up from the ground a little bit more than a typical bed would be. So I know my freshman year, I didn't necessarily put clothes in there, but I put like towels and washcloths. Sometimes I put snacks in there, like cleaning supplies. So if you have it, cool. If not, you don't necessarily need it, but it is a good storage thing if you do want to bring it.
That was really helpful. I know everyone has their different ways of living. So this question is not something, unfortunately, we as orientation coordinators can answer. But if you guys want, you can reach out to reslife at providence.edu. They're amazing. We have a wonderful Department of Res Life here, so they'd be able to answer this question better for you than we'd be able to. Hmm. I'm going to throw this to Josie. Are there mirrors in the triple dorms in Ray?
I don't believe so. I think there's plenty of room for mirror space to be put on the wall. I just got, like the $15 plastic mirror. And I just, easily with command strips put that on my wall. There's, again, plenty of wall space in Ray. That was one of the things I liked most about it because I love my decor.
Ooh. Yeah. I think a lot of people like hang them on the back of the doors. Mm. When is winter break? Haley, do you want to talk a little bit about like the semesters here and kind of like our breaks as a
Yeah.
college student at Providence?
Sure. So just kind of like an overview of your semester. You'll come on Tuesday, go through orientation over the weekend, and then Monday we don't have class for Labor Day. So class will start the Tuesday after. We have a normal schedule straight through until Columbus Day in October. So you'll also have that Monday off of class. After that, going straight through to Thanksgiving, having a few days off there. I believe it's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all week of Thanksgiving. And then after that will kind of be week before finals and then final exams. So winter break is usually starts like the second, third week of December, and it usually lasts about a month. Planning to be back to school around Martin Luther King Day in January, but for a more detailed academic schedule, there is one posted on the website. So if you just Google Providence College Academic Calendar 2025-2026, it should pop right up, and then it'll have all those dates there of when classes resume.
So exciting to think we're already talking about back to school. Are we going to have time to find where our classes are before the first day? So yes, you'll have plenty of time. A great part about the orientation program is that you are busy those first 4 days and you are moving all throughout campus. You're traveling to different academic buildings, and you are very fortunate that you, as an incoming student, will have two amazing orientation leaders that are current students who are well versed on the campus. So they should be able to show you. But also on Sunday, we're having Friar Fest for all incoming students. And also during that time, there'll be a group of orientation leaders offering class tours. So on that Sunday, you can figure out where all your classes are. So you'll be all ready for first day of classes next Tuesday, a week from today. So yes, you'll have plenty of time to find out where your classes are.
And class tours are going to be held. You'll find those orientation leaders by the flame. So you'll know where to find them for
Yeah.
class tours.
We're easy to spot.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like so nervous. Ooh, Gabe, I can throw this to you.
Yeah.
How wide are the McDermott closets?
I mean, I don't have exact measurements. I'm not a carpenter, but I would say they're pretty good sized. Like for comparison, I'm like 6'1", and they were probably like a couple inches taller than me. And then wide, I mean, I really don't have a solid answer on that one, but there is decent spaced for like both sides. On one side, I was able to put like my jackets and my coats, and then the other side, I was able to put like t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and then underneath where your shirts hang, it's just kind of like an open space. And then I put little bins in there for like socks and other things. So it definitely is enough storage space, but I just have a shopping problem. So I use the extra storage space to put more clothes in that. So yeah, I definitely would say that there's plenty of space, and don't overpack clothes, because that was my number one mistake freshman year.
Wise advice.
And just to add, you can look at the website online, look up housing options at PC, and there's a lot of information about the specific residence halls. They may not have the exact width of the closets, but most of the measurements will be on there. And again, like Katie had said, you can always email reslife@providence.edu for some more detailed answers to those questions.
Yes.
I feel like everyone develops a little shopping addiction after discovering the Providence Place Mall. That's for sure.
In the bookstore.
And the bookstore. Yeah.
Students
Gotta
might
love
like
the
to hear that right now, but not the parents.
Like maybe like 50% of all of my clothes are Friars gear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you
T-shirts.
do orientation as long as us, you'll get a whole new wardrobe over the next 3 years.
Buy a t-shirt.
No, parents, get ready because all the Christmas gifts are just going to be merch from the bookstore.
Yeah.
So you guys can keep asking questions. We're very happy to answer. We have a lot of advice on this panel. Very wise.
I guess one thing. Oh, never mind.
Oh, perfect. Are there
Oh,
actual
gosh.
keys to their dorm/rooms? No, there are not. Pretty much universal when you're a student, they come to Providence, they'll realize their PCID is kind of like their lifeline here. All students will have to tap their Providence College ID to get access to their dorm room. That's a really great safety precaution. So, Haley and I lived in different dorms our freshman year. My ID wouldn't have worked to let me into Haley's, vice versa. And then to get into your actual physical dorm room, it's a tap. So you just put your ID in and then you'll enter the last 4 digits of your social security code. So make sure you come to school knowing that. But it definitely is a safe way. And we use a PCID, like I said, to get access to your dorm room, but also we use it to tap into our dining hall array. So you'll get very familiar with how to use your Providence College ID.
Is McVinney still different
Oh,
compared
so
to
sorry,
the other
McVinney
freshman dorms?
is a little different. So I lived on the first floor and we did have the card tap and swipe, but all the other floors in McVinney, there's kind of like a punch at the top. So in your move-in packet, you'll get a paper that has your door combination, and that it's just you'll have to punch the numbers in and then flip the lock to push it inward. So McVinney is a little bit different, but that punch key will be in your move-in envelope that you'll grab from your RA on your way into the building on Thursday morning. And they're more than happy to help you figure out how to use them because it can be a little confusing. But as soon as you get those number codes down, you'll be totally good. But you still have to tap in to get into the building. And then if you have any questions about PCID or cards, you can email the PC card office. They can handle all those questions about your door code or anything like that if you need help with it. But for the most part, it's your card. And if you're in any floor in McVinney besides one, it'll be the punch.
Just important to know that on move-in day, there's going to be so much help there for you, whether it's staff, students. You're not alone that day, so we're there to answer any questions like that. How to get into my dorm room.
Something also very specific as someone who's had a lot of door troubles and like just a bunch of the dorms that I've lived in on move-in day. And then there are certain times throughout the year where there will be a locksmith going around that you can call, and he will be going to all of the dorms, and he has fixed my dorm in 2 seconds. And it's taken me 20 minutes to get in there sometimes, just because, especially on move-in day when there's so many people jumbling around and people coming in and out, like the locks themselves can get confused about how many times people are going in and out. But yeah, there's definitely tons of resources for for you to get into your dorm, out of your dorm if you have trouble. Like the OLs are here, and then there will also be head RAs who are inside and outside all of the dorms, and they're more the logistical side of that. So always go to them for resources as well.
Yeah. So we can take this next question, and I think Haley wants it. So it says, how do you set up your Echo Spot?
Okay. So how this is going to work? Also on move-in day, you'll get all the information on how to connect to the internet here. We have PC Secure, which is the normal Wi-Fi for your computer and for your phone, and there is PC devices which you can use for anything like this, an Alexa, Google Home, or your TV if you choose to bring one. But for any questions related to technology and the internet, you can contact IT support. They're reachable by phone and email. So any questions with that, you can contact IT. And then also your login for the Wi-Fi will be your user or your username. Sorry, your username will be your email, and then your password will be your email password as well. But all questions about technology you can send to IT support, and they can help you over the phone with that.
Awesome. Can you have multiple fridges in a room? Josie, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure. I don't have the exact information. I know there are specific measurements for a fridge. I don't believe that you can take more than one fridge. And then I think they will have the measurements on the PC Res Life website about like how like the exact measurements that they'll take for your fridge.
Yeah. I know my freshman year, it was kind of I feel like a lot of people commonly did this. Like maybe you'll bring the mini fridge, someone else brings the microwave. So definitely talk with your roommates beforehand. So you don't have multiples of every object. Ooh, who's a foodie? What's open for late night food on campus? Definitely, we love in Eaton Street Cafe, which is located in our business school. They're open until 2 a.m. on the weekends, right? And I think sometimes during the week. That's also where you get the best breakfast sandwich on campus. So that's a fan favorite. So if you're a business student or you just live on lower campus, they sell Ben and Jerry's there. They sell everything. So that's definitely a fun spot open where you can get late night food, especially after our main dining hall Ray closes. But also we have another dining option in our student center alumni, which closes at I think 11 or 11:30. Yes. So yeah, we love our dining options on campus.
And another little shameless plug is a lot of times there are a lot of events going on campus with food trucks that are free to students. And sometimes on weekends, there's a food truck that's just parked every weekend that students can purchase food at. So there's definitely options if you are sick of Ray Dining Hall or just need a late night snack.
What type of work study jobs are there on campus? Gabe, I feel like you can talk about yours.
Yeah, I can talk about this one. I don't know what I just said. This one. Um, so there are tons and tons and tons of on-campus jobs that you can apply for, and we used to have it on Handshake, but now we use Friar Hub to apply for all the on-campus jobs. So I've had a job for the past 3 years working in the Smith Center for the Arts, which is our arts building, and I work in the box office doing ticket sales. I do a lot of promotional work. I work on Canva. I make posters. I make playbills, and then I work all of the or as many performances as I can each semester. But there are so many different jobs that you can apply for on Friar Hub, and you just basically go on there and see which ones are listed and which ones are hiring. But just to give some examples, there's like a bookstore job, there is a gym attendant, there is rec sports people, there are like women's basketball, like training assistants, I think is what they're called. There's tutors for all academic needs in the writing center. We also have an academic center, which is in the second floor of the library for all different subjects. They even have honors tutors for people in the honors programs. So there are so many different jobs you can apply for. I couldn't even list all of them, but I recommend going on Friar Hub. You can just Google it and it'll bring you right to it. And in the top, there is a little there's a little slide bar that says on-campus employment. If you click that, it will show you all the available jobs, what they're looking for, if you need a resume, if you need to set up an interview. A lot of the jobs, I don't think you need to set up an interview. Some of them you do, but most of the jobs will just want you to upload some sort of resume or experience that you have, and then you get the job. And then work study is once you fill out the application and you meet with the person you're being hired through, sometimes they'll send you to financial aid. Sometimes they'll just email you the paperwork and you fill that out. And once it's approved through financial aid, they'll send you an email. I actually just got mine the other day because I have to reapply every year, but it's like you've been approved for work study, and then you fill out your timesheet each week and your boss or whoever you're working for will tell you how to do that. And it's super easy.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's a lot of fun having friends across campus work in different departments. And actually, our tutoring center is the highest student employer on campus. So I have a lot of friends that are tutors. Yeah, we've all worked a really fun on-campus job here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a tutor?
No, I'm not a tutor, but I am a lab TA through the chemistry department. So that's also an option too, another kind of peer leadership work opportunity. If you're in a class that has a lab or has kind of like a hands-on portion, you can work as a TA. It's just like if you've gone through the class and you've got above a certain grade, you can apply to TA. I also starting this year will be a fitness instructor, which is another opportunity for employment on campus. But there really are so many options. Yeah, in admissions, right?
Yeah, and I worked in the admissions office this past year. So that was really exciting. I give tours on campus, so it was really full circle to also work in our admissions office. I really enjoyed getting to meet, and I think a lot of future Friars, maybe some that are coming to be part of the class of 2029 on Thursday, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. This is another lot of housing questions, which makes us excited for move-in day. Do beds loft high enough to put your desk and chair underneath and work on your desk? This is a really good question. So in any of the dorms that myself, Gabe, Aria, Haley, and Josie mentioned, I think the answer is no. But I know AQ, Aquinas Hall, is a residence hall for freshmen that shows the age of me, Gabe, Josie, and Haley that are freshman years for sophomores, but now it is a current freshman dorm. Those beds can be lofted, and I know a lot of students do choose to put things like their dresser or their desk under there, and I believe those beds might even come lofted in some cases. So that would be in Aquinas Hall. That is an option, but for all the other ones, the majority of the times when beds are lofted, it's just a little bit off the ground just to put things like a dresser, maybe a case of water. I've seen a mini fridge under there in some cases, but not high enough for a desk. But definitely in Aquinas Hall, you can have your bed lofted.
And again, for anyone who just joined us recently, reslife@providence.edu is really the best place to email to ask those specific questions depending on where your living assignment is.
Yeah. What is planned for us after parents leave on Thursday? This is an exciting one. Gabe, do you want? I'll leave it to Haley.
Okay. So after parents leave on Thursday, it'll be a little bit into the afternoon, so it'll be around like 5 or 6 o'clock. We have some fun events planned for you that night. So that'll be when orientation starts. After mass, if you choose to go, there'll be an event on Slave and Lawn Fire Fest, where you'll, kind of have your first experience, like, at an on-campus event. You'll get to experience that with your parents for a little bit. There'll be food there. And then right after that, we'll go right into orientation. You'll meet your group leaders and you'll meet your orientation group, which will be by Civ. So you'll get to know some familiar faces that you'll be seeing throughout your first semester here. And then we'll have dinner in our groups. We have a night enslavement plan to kind of get familiar with the student center here. But orientation goes full swing once your parents leave on Thursday. And then ending off the night, you'll have a floor meeting in your residence hall. And you'll get to meet your RA and everyone else that lives on your floor. But we have some really fun things planned for after your parents leave that we've been working at for you guys for a while. So hopefully you enjoy it as much as we hope you will.
We're all really excited, I think. Ooh, Josie, do you want to talk a little bit about this one? I think this is like a spin-off. What does our
Absolutely.
first weekend look like? So we're moved on past Thursday. What does the first weekend look like?
Perfect. So we're going into Saturday and Sunday of orientation. Saturday and Sunday are third and fourth days of orientation. And you're gonna have many academic sessions during that week. And I think Saturday night is either because there's carnival night and then there's casino night. I think carnival night and casino night Thursday, Friday, or it's either flipped. Your OLs will give you more insight on that. So there's after a whole day of orientation, there's a social, which is going to be held probably either on Slave and Lawn or in Slavin. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time. Your OLs will be there working these socials, and it's a great way to meet people. I really, really recommend going.
And to jump off of that too, like the orientation program has a lot of different events planned for that weekend for freshmen after like typical orientation programming. But there are tons of other clubs and organizations on campus that are going to be having programming for students as well. Josie and I are actually on a club called the Board of Programmers here, or BOP for short, and we do a lot, or basically all and basically a lot of the student run events on campus. And one of the big ones that happens right after orientation for incoming freshmen, if they were able to get a ticket for it, is the Newport trip the Monday before classes. So that's something to look forward to as well, because orientation is officially over by then. And the freshmen are able to go on their way and get themselves settled before classes start. But the Newport trip is a great way if you're going and really convince your students that they are going to have a really good time if they did get a ticket to go, because that's one of the best ways that outside of orientation, they're able to meet some people that they wouldn't have necessarily gotten to know before, because they basically hop on a bus. There's I think there's like 15 or 16 of us from BOP that are going on that trip, and we kind of just guide everybody, and then we get to Newport, we drop you off, and they just get to explore. They get to go shopping, go out to eat, do whatever they please, and just get to know one another. So it's a great way to get to know people, especially on that first day before classes start, to see some familiar faces.
Yeah, we as an orientation program do a really great job of keeping the students busy, especially that weekend. So they'll be able to connect with their leaders, but also their orientation group, which ranges to be about 20 students. So it's really great to meet a lot of individuals. Ray will be open. Hopefully the weather is nice. You can enjoy some Slave and Lawn activities. But it will definitely be an exciting and busy weekend, getting you adjusted and acclimated to Friartown before classes start. My biggest tip would, just like Josie and Gabe were saying, to go to all those events. I loved going to that Newport trip my freshman year. It's one of my favorite memories of our first year. And so just take it all in, experience it all. I think we're all wishing we could go back in time and live it over. So it's a really great question. When and where do students get their PCIDs? Ari, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so when you get here on Thursday for move-in, you're going to be checking in with one of the head RAs in the building that you were living in, and you are going to be picking up a packet that has your ID, your room information, and as well as your orientation name tag, which will tell you your group number. So then therefore later in the day you can meet your OLs, your group leaders, and get with the rest of your group for the rest of the weekend. So all of the information and physical material that you need, you will get on Thursday whenever you come here for move-in and checking in to get acclimated into your residence hall.
It's definitely a priority on move-in day to check in with that HRA.
And there will be people all over campus, student helpers, giving directions and getting you in the direction you need to go so that you can find all of your materials.
Also, something that's really cool about our campus that I've noticed is if you end up losing your PCID or something happens to it, if it gets scratched, it doesn't work, you can go to the card office on the 4th floor of Harkins and they will print you a new ID right there. And it takes minutes for them to do that. And it's free of charge, doesn't require any money for you to do that. But I challenge all of you, my orientation leaders, my freshman year said, I challenge you to keep the same PCID for all 4 years. And I've lived up to that challenge. So I challenge all of you and your students.
I definitely have not. Go on my second one. It's not that bad. Are you all on your first one still?
Still, yeah.
Am I the only one? Ooh, what is a popular course to take at your school? I think I can speak. So our Providence is known for our Development of Western Civilization class that all PC students have to take. But your final semester of Civ, it's called a colloquium. It's a big fancy word, but you get to pick what you want to learn about. We have over 30 of them, and it kind of teaches you how you and whatever you learned the past year and a half through Development of Western Civilization and something go hand in hand. I took, which I think is the hardest one to get, I took the history of sports, which is a fan favorite Civ. So that's like one of definitely our most popular classes. It's a great way to wrap up your Civ experience. So definitely incoming students, keep that in the back of your mind. You want to register for history of sports. It was really cool just to learn about how sports came to be. We worked all the way up to modern day. We were able to connect with PC alumni who worked in sports professionally or played professional sports. It's definitely one of my favorite classes. Has nothing to do with my major in elementary education, but I did really enjoy it. Any of you guys have a class you really liked? Any in the business school, Josie?
Let me think. Popular course to take out of the business school. I mean, there's so many good. I was actually just having a conversation today. There's a lot of good finance electives. A lot of like finance minors. There's so many options to take. I think there's probably lots of descriptions where you could look if you just look up Providence College, just like itineraries, like they have like a list of like finance classes you can take. I remember shout out to Katie Bomleni. She was talking about a great finance class she takes called SMIF. I don't know what the abbreviation is, but she was just talking about how much she loved it, and then the whole table just like erupted, and they just were talking about how great that class was. One of my personal favorites was acting. I think that it
That's a good one.
really
I took that too.
yeah, intro to acting. It was really great because it brought me out of my shell. It made me interact with people of all grades, all different majors, and I don't know. I feel like I grew so much as a person just in that one class. So yeah.
That's a fun one. It's a really good one. Do you guys have any?
Yeah, just to add to that, so we are a liberal arts school, so there are the core requirements. So you will, no matter what your major is, take a lot of different classes and a lot of different core curriculums. So for example, I'm a nursing major, so a lot of my classes are the same people, the same kind of topics. But freshman year, first semester, I took an art history class, which I never really thought I'd be taking. However, I actually really enjoyed it. So there's definitely a lot of ways to take classes that don't necessarily coincide with your major, but they can be a lot of fun and very eye-opening.
Definitely.
Yeah, just to echo that, I'm a double major, so being a double major is definitely more of a challenge than just being a single major or having a minor, because it depends on also what you major in, and psychology and social work, the departments need some more communication, but that is all right. That is something that we have worked through, and we have a great plan. But especially in psychology, it's very similar to what Aria was saying with nursing. You're in the same classes with a lot of the same people throughout your 4 years based on like the requirements that you need. So thinking about popular classes, one of the most popular classes in the psychology department is child and adolescent development.
I took that.
Yeah. And a lot of it, so even if you are a major, and psychology is similar to some majors, but different compared to a lot of majors as well, because in your degree audit, which can be found on Cyberfryer, that shows all of your course requirements for each major and for your student. And there's also ones for undeclared. There's certain classes that each undeclared major will take as well. But specifically for psychology, there are different domains that you have to fulfill. So for example, for child and adolescent development, that domain is considered understanding individuals. And when you go into your degree audit, you can see all the different classes that your student could potentially take to fulfill that requirement. So not all students in the major will take the same classes. They just have to take classes to fill the requirements. But I highly recommend child and adolescent development. Dr. Warmouth, she's great. And then, yeah, the gen eds. I also do a cappella here on campus. I'm the secretary this year for our co-ed group, strictly speaking. And I ended up taking a voice class last semester for my fine arts requirement on top of theology and my psych and social work classes, and I had the most fun time ever. So there's a really wide range of classes that you can take.
And you're lucky you'll have an advisor here at PC. So that whole cyber fire and course registration thing, you don't have to worry about. You'll have an advisor in your department who will help you with all that. So,
Yes.
yeah. When is the flu shot clinic? I don't know if this is public information yet, or we know it, but this is something that happens on our campus, and it usually ranges from the months of like September to October. And there's several dates and times that will accommodate all students' class schedule and involvement schedule. So that's something that your student will receive in their email. Like I said, your PCID is your lifeline at college. I also think your email is too. We rely heavily off our emails here, so that's something you'll be actively checking when you get here, and you'll be notified that.
I'd also say to definitely follow PC Friar Life on Instagram.
Yes.
They'll have all the important events, and just like exactly like Friar Life, everything you need to know what's happening on campus, just like important information like that, and also just promoting other social events. Also follow PC BOP for more on those social events. Just a little plug.
Definitely. Also in our dining hall, they'll in Ray, they print out a calendar every week, which has all the different social activities. If there's a sports game going on, it will tell you when, where, what time. So I think it's pretty easy to get involved here. It almost makes it too easy. You always know what's going on. We're a heavily involved campus, and I think we can all say there's always something to do in Providence, especially this week during orientation. So get some rest. We've definitely been resting up. We've been getting ready. So a lot of good stuff coming your way.
And then I'm just going off of Katie's point about the dining hall. If you follow PC Dining on Instagram every or the night before, they'll post the menus for everything that's up for grabs for the next day. So that'll be in Ray. So if you follow PC Dining, they'll have everything breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's a good way to just kind of get a glimpse of what's going to be up the next day. If you have any dietary restrictions, all that'll be on there. So I highly suggest you follow PC Dining. They do some games and some giveaways. And the dietitian will be there all during orientation week to answer any questions that you have. If you need to get access to the allergy room, or if you just want to hear more about the resources that the dining hall has to offer on campus. And all freshmen will have the unlimited plan, so you won't have to worry about anything. That'll give you access to Ray, and you'll get meal swipes at alumni and Friar Bucks, which you can use at the new cafe here in Mondor, at Eaton Street Cafe, and at alumni.
Yeah. We all just got a tour of our dining hall, Ray, just so we're fully prepped on it going into orientation. They had a lot of good changes over the summer. Some of us are seniors without meal plans, so we've definitely been enjoying the perks of being able to eat in Ray this week. So it'll be open for everyone, parents and siblings too, on Thursday. So you guys can come take a break from moving in and grab some lunch. So it'll be definitely a very busy but exciting area on Thursday. Lively, I'll say. hmm Ooh, this is a good one. When do freshmen sign up for clubs? Anyone want to take
I
this?
can take this one.
Yeah.
So we're in the process right now of planning the involvement fair for all incoming freshmen. And a lot of it's already been underway, but the involvement fair this year will be on September 4th. So it's 2 days after classes start. And I'm pretty sure it's 4 to 6 p.m. in Peterson. Actually, don't hold me to that. But I know it's from 4 to 6 p.m. and it's all the different clubs and organizations on campus have all the tables set up, and then the incoming freshmen can go and they can just interact with all the clubs there. And they can usually all the clubs have someone's laptop up, and if they're interested in joining the club, they can sign up to get interest emails, and then from there, the clubs individually will send out information about interviews or auditions, like if it's a music club or sports teams as well. And then there's also club sports interest meetings that are going to be happening around the time of orientation and afterwards. So there's a lot of time, especially early on, for freshmen to start joining clubs.
And just to add to that, weather permitting, the involvement fair will be on Slavin Lawn, which is where you'll be spending a lot of time when you get here through orientation. So you'll know that spot pretty well. And if you do happen to miss that event, just because I know it's early on, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, there are going to be so many opportunities to get involved with clubs and organizations throughout your 4 years at Providence. So if you miss it at your first shot, there will be plenty of opportunities.
Yeah. And if you're looking for more information, I know Josie plugged PC Flyer Life earlier. If there's a certain club you're interested in, there's a good chance they have an Instagram account. So I definitely recommend looking them up and following them. A lot of times they'll post ahead, whether if it's a club sports team, their interest meeting, their tryouts, or just for a regular club, their meeting. But I think we can all agree your freshman year, it's a really great thing to join a bunch of clubs. great way to meet people, branch out, and it keeps you busy. So definitely you can look for those clubs, at the involvement fair, or just look them up right now on Instagram. I think that's a good way to stay connected.
Ask your orientation leaders too, because we're very involved.
I'm going to put this to Josie. Is the Newport trip only for freshmen? Because I know Josie's a member of our board of programmers who's planning that event.
Yes, so the Newport trip is only for first year students, and then there will also be BOP students, like that aren't first year. They'll be walking around with them, guiding them. Anything else? Forgetting anything? Yeah, I had a great time on the Newport trip last year. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool shops, and I think it's a great way for people to bond.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, BOP usually does do trips. So just first year students transfers as well, or
Yes.
yes, transfers are allowed to go on the trip to Newport. So yeah, BOP always does a really great job having events all throughout campus. So we all had our time going to the Newport trip. So it's time for any new and incoming students to go. And I believe last time, fellow orientation leader Quinn, who gave us the numbers, there's over 800 tickets sold for the Newport trip. So it's definitely a very popular event. And I think it's going to be a really exciting one. So definitely make sure about your ticket. It's not an event I'd want to miss. Oh, this is another one. Does PC have a ski club? Actually one I am not sure about. We do have over 500 clubs and organizations here at Providence, which does make it a little bit difficult to keep track. But that's something you can look up on our website. On our student, we have an amazing office, SEAL, Student Engagement and Leadership, and they help oversee, like I said, those over 500 clubs we have here. Those are clubs based on majors, interests. But if we do not have a ski club, it's definitely we have a wonderful SEAL staff, like I said, Student Engagement and Leadership, and you can actually work with them. I know a lot of friends who are in the process of creating clubs, so we're always adapting here at Providence. But I do know the board of programmers, which
Yeah.
Josie and Gabe are a part of, often do ski trips throughout the year. So that'd be another avenue you can go down and participate in if you're interested. Yeah, there's definitely a
I
lot
do
of.
know there's also a new outdoors club that one of my friends helped start in the past year. So it's definitely possible to start clubs if there aren't already one here. And that outdoors club does ski trips, hiking trips, things like that. So definitely ways to get involved with skiing or other areas like that are your interest.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. What is something everyone forgets that you should bring? This is a really good one. Haley, I feel like you have a smirk. I feel like you know something.
So my freshman year, this is going back to the Newport trip, I forgot to bring a raincoat. And coincidentally, it was downpouring. So if
Was.
you have a raincoat, I would highly suggest you bring it. Because we're in New England, the weather's a little bit unpredictable. And I think we kind of had a record going on this past spring semester of how many Saturdays in a row it rained. So definitely bring your raincoat. You don't want to be schlepping across campus soaking wet. And on that same note, like rain boots or snow boots too, just to keep your feet dry. But I would definitely say bring a raincoat if you have one.
It's a very good response. Does anyone else have anything? I feel like this could vary from person to person.
I feel like scissors. I think a lot of people forget that, and then they're
So
in
true.
their
That's a
dorm
really
room
good
one
one.
day and they need to like cut off a tag or open something, and they don't have scissors. So I would definitely say that.
That's a good one.
My thing would probably be a water bottle cleaner. I didn't have a water bottle
I
cleaner.
was gonna
freshman year.
say.
Yes, it's because you'll have your emotional support water bottle. I'm sure be carrying around that all day, and it's um you know you're gonna have to be cleaning that out in the sink. So it's really easy to just like have a water bottle brush with you and make things a lot smoother. Just so you're not drinking out of like a disgusting water bottle that you haven't cleaned in a year.
Yeah, and I especially feel like your freshman year because you don't have like that kitchen in your dorm room, even just like a little thing of dish soap to like clean your water bottle and like
Mhm.
any minimal dishes you might have.
Mhm.
It's also good to know.
I feel like this kind of goes without saying, but one specifically in my experience is just like medication of any sort, like Tylenol, ibuprofen, cough syrup, just things like that. Because once that friar flu starts going around, it can be brutal sometimes, and I've caught that a couple times. And it's always in the moment where your parents are helping you pack, and then it's like, oh, maybe you should bring this, maybe you should bring this. It's no, I'll be fine, I'll get it if I need it. And then it's always those times where like I should have listened to my mom.
Yeah.
So
I think we all can agree. Your parents are only trying to help this week with move-in, so listen to your parents. Oh, I feel like we could all go down and say this.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll keep it brief.
First, oh, I have two answers.
Oh, perfect.
Which is my not even my first year memory, just of the 2 years I've been here, but I would say Late Night Madness. That is early in the fall, so it's your like homecoming family weekend, and there's a concert at the AMP downtown where the basketball team plays. It's kind of like a pep rally, so that's really fun. They always bring in some great people, and then also the Georgetown basketball game. It's a lot of fun.
It's a really good one.
Mine is really specific, but it was just the very first time that I got into my first club on campus, which was a cappella, and it was just the first time where I felt like I belonged in somewhere else besides this campus. Like the school did such a great job of making me feel welcomed, and like the orientation staff, that's why I've been here for year 3 now. Part of the orientation staff just did such a great job at welcoming everybody, and I felt like I belonged in this community that was built, and then just extending that community and just making more friends from that. And just, I will never forget that night. It was awesome.
Yeah, for me, I was really lucky. I had 2 amazing orientation leaders my freshman year who had us write letters to ourselves the first week of class. And in the end, in the spring semester, they got our entire orientation group together at McPhail's, which is our on-campus student center. We had like popcorn, milkshake, sodas, and they actually handed us the letters back. And it was really full circle to see like how much I had changed and how many goals I accomplished. So it was a really cool feature. It's my favorite moments, and it's so nice to be able to reconnect. And I was lucky I met some of my really great friends through my orientation group.
So my favorite first year memory, we're going to move out actually. Um, so I'm a little sappy, but when we moved out, it was with all of my friends and my roommates, and we were just sitting in our room, just like reflecting on our year, talking about everything that happened, all the fun stuff we did, events that we went to, like Black and White Ball, Late Night Madness, our first basketball game. So just kind of sitting, in our empty freshman year dorm, just like, talking about everything that happened that year. Some tears were shed because we had such a great time. But it was, it was such a nice moment with my friends. You really find your family at PC. So it was nice to reflect on that. And kind of set us off on a good foot going into the summer and had us really excited to come back sophomore year.
I would definitely have to say my favorite first year memory is getting the email for the first snow day of the year. I was on
That was a good night.
I was on the 3rd floor of Feinstein, doing my homework because there's a lot of academic buildings that are really good for doing work late at night. And I remember, doing my work, studying, and I see that email and I'm like, wow, there's no way. And then all of a sudden I just hear like all this yelling and excitement. I remember looking out and like seeing the snowfall, and then all the kids are just running out and like, like playing with the snow, throwing snowballs at each other, people starting to make snowmen. It was just, I feel like it's really like Providence College at its core. How all all the students are like they bring such high energy, and they're so fun. There's such community there. Like everyone, I feel like I met a lot of people sledding down Guz Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Providence College for you.
That's so funny to like see how so any of our favorite memories are like similar, but they're so different because everyone has like such a different college experience. But we do have a little bit of overlap, which is always nice. It's always fun to look back. Ooh. How long do work orders typically take to be completed? So this we have a really amazing physical plan here who works so hard. And if you submit a work order, give or take the first month, like Haley talked about earlier, that there are those designated days. So if you would like your bed lofted or any furniture taken or added to your room, there'll be a specific day for your dorm that'll be emailed to you. It's typically, I think, the first or second week of September. But our physical plan works so hard throughout the remainder of the school year. You can send them a work order online, and I've had them come day of. They're located right here on our campus. They're always around, very friendly, and they definitely fix a lot of the problems we have. So, yeah. Ooh, are air conditioners allowed? Anyone want to take this? I feel like this is more res life.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this would be another question that you could email reslife@providence.edu. They'll have the answers to all of those questions. I know specifically if it's something that has to do with accommodations, you would reach out to ResLife with that as well, and they'd be able to help you do that. But as far as I'm aware, none of the freshman dorms have air conditioning besides first floor McVinney. I was very lucky freshman year. But aside from that, if it's like a concern with accommodations for asthma or allergies or anything like that, I would contact ResLife for that. And then also just for, personal use, I would just ask as well. But you are allowed to bring fans. I know a lot of people like, what is the circle one? The Wuzu fan? The big globe fan. all of my friends had those freshman year, like right on their
I had the
nightstand.
big tower one. It was so nice.
So you can
Nice.
definitely bring a fan. Definitely will keep it cool because it gets a little hot, especially, because we come back to school in August. But I would contact Res Life for specific questions on that, but you can definitely bring fans, to keep your room cool.
In that same vein, just also going back to the question of something that people usually forget to bring is an air purifier. I have loved mine the past couple years, and just going off of what Haley was saying for like allergies or asthma or things like that, I've found that that really helps my friends who have allergies and asthma, but then also, again, to keep that fryer flu away because it can be deadly.
This is a really good one. Do you want to talk about this, Josie?
Yeah. So what masses do students attend most? I know probably I'd say the most popular one is the 10 p.m. mass. I always attend that one, so you'll see me there. So the 10 p.m. mass, it's like, a late night mass. There's a beautiful group of about like 6 to 7 singers, and they have amazing voices. And they serenade us. And it's really calming. It's a great, I feel like it was my like time to just like really relax freshman year. There's so much stimulation and so much going on, but it was really nice to just like come to 10 p.m. mass and just feel that sense of peace over me. And also after 10 p.m. mass, there's something called post mass bash. Sorry, it's just a little difficult to say.
Yeah.
It's PMB for short. And so you go down after 10 p.m. mass. All those students just funnel into the basement of St. Dominic's Chapel, and campus ministry has a great spread of food usually. And I would definitely follow Father Simon on Instagram because he'll probably have some more detail on that. So,
Or TikTok.
or
TikTok.
TikTok. He's famous.
I think their account's at PC Campman, but his is I think at Father Simon Teller. So
Yes.
definitely follow these accounts before you come on campus, so you'll be in the know. It's a really great way sharing information. Yeah, so this is going to be our last question. We want to thank everyone so much for asking. And again, definitely look for the tie dye shirts on Thursday. If you have any questions, we'll be your orientation leaders and coordinators, and we'll be happy to help in person too. This will be our last question of the night. Your single best piece of advice to an incoming freshman. This is really good. Do you each want to say? Yeah, so I don't know if anyone wants to kick us off.
Yeah, sure. I can start with that. I would say my best piece of advice would be to come in with an open mind, take advantage of everything that PC has to offer. There are so many people to meet, so many ways to get involved, so many classes to take, and you really don't know what's waiting for you until you try it. I always use the example that I joined an intramural inner tube water polo team, which is not something I ever saw myself doing throughout my 4 years at PC. And I don't think I have a career in it. However, it was a lot of fun, a good way to meet people and get involved. So just come in with open mind, meet new people, try new things, and have the best time. It's going to be great.
My biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to ask questions, because a lot of us think that we can do it alone, and wanting that sense of independence coming into college, which is definitely a great factor and a great mindset to have. But at the same time, we are such a great community here that there are so many people willing to help you and answer all your questions and give you advice and have resources for you. So definitely don't be afraid to ask questions. And just like what Ari was saying, take advantage of every opportunity, because college really is what you make of it. And there are so many opportunities and chances for you to make the most of it. So take those chances.
My biggest piece of advice would to be get involved. I don't think I was super involved here my first year. I still had an incredible first year experience. But my sophomore year is when I really started to get involved, and it only heightened my experience. I think there's so many amazing opportunities Providence has to offer, and so many incredible people you'll get to meet outside of your major, outside of your dorm. So my biggest advice would just be go all in, try new things, leave nothing behind. It's really such a amazing time in your life. You're at this amazing school that supports you no matter what. We have an incredible student body. I'm lucky to be sitting next to four amazing friars. And I'm so lucky to call my friends that I wouldn't have met if I wasn't involved. So I'm really lucky, and I'm thankful that did choose to get involved on campus.
My best piece of advice, sorry. I would say give yourself some grace as you go through the year. For a lot of us, this is our first time away from home. Besides, maybe like a week or so of summer camp. Only did that once. But for me, coming to college was the first time that I, was away from home for a while. Went to a small school, K through 12. So kind of being thrown into the mix of, being around 1,000 new people was really overwhelming. I didn't know anybody when I came here. So just give yourself some grace, be proud of yourself. You made it. Um, you know, enjoy it. It goes by very fast. I can't believe that 3 years ago, this side of the table, we were in your shoes. It's gonna be great. But also, this is what everyone is telling us going into our senior year: say yes to things. If someone from your floor asks you if you want to get dinner with them, say yes. That person could end up being one of your best friends. If there's an event on campus, and you're not sure if you want to go ride the mechanical shark on Slave and Lawn, just say yes. Sign the waiver first, but say yes. It'll be fun. Um, you know, just a lot of those things. Give yourself some grace, but also, push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You only have one first year, and make yourself some memories that'll last a lifetime. I'm really mushy, but.
I would have to say my sister is going into her first year of college as well, and I just gave her this advice: is to be your most authentic self. I know as a freshman, I walked in, I had an image in my mind like, oh, what my friends are gonna look like, how many friends I'm gonna have. Like, I just wanted to make my friend group, as fast as I could, but and you try to force myself to be somebody else, to like make these certain friends, and you will find your people eventually if you just really take the effort to do all these things, like try new things, say yes to things. You will meet your people in the most unexpected ways. I've met my friends in the most random ways, but just say yes to everything. Like I take all of these pieces of advice, and just be all your most authentic self, and you will find your friends, trust me.
So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all your questions. We'll see you on Thursday. And I guess there's one more thing left to say. Go Friars.
Prior.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.